Hi, this is Bill with Media Unlocked, and tonight I want to spend just a little bit of time going through the breakdown of how you use the Profoto A1. Now, I haven't seen this online anywhere yet, and it's kind of a simplistic system, but nonetheless, I wanted to sit down and show you exactly where the controls were and some of the things that I've learned while using this for the last couple of months. So I want to start off by looking at the battery, which is right there, very simple. Just pop it in and out for a recharge. Easy enough to deal with. On the side here, we have the TTL and manual switch. So it's very easy to go between those two settings. Now, I want to show you the magnet. Everything on the A1 is magnetized for the accessories. So all of the accessories just slide right in. You know when they're in place because you get that very satisfying click from the magnets. Pure and simple. Now let's go ahead and turn it on. Turns on with the test button, but it's got an oops control because it's easy enough to hit that. So what you do is you just rotate the dial just a little bit and it goes into its full function mode. So you activate the menu, hitting the menu switch, and you just dial through all of your options in a clockwise fashion. So to take the options here on this particular screen, you have your modeling light. You can set it to minimum, maximum, proportional. Okay, proportional is the power of the light. So as the light gets more power, the modeling light will become brighter. You can also do it flicker free if you're picking up any flicker when you're activating it. I usually keep mine set to minimum because that minimizes the use of power for this particular setting. Going over to your ready menu. I like to keep mine on beep. That tells you when your recycle is ready, so that if it's off camera, if it's on a different little distance away from me, for example, I hear that very satisfying beep that tells me it's ready. If you like, you can turn that off right up here. You can set it to dim, which is where it dims the modeling light if you're using it, or where it beeps and it dims. I like the beep, like I said. Going back to the next setting. Our zoom, right now I've got the zoom set to manual, which is this ring right up here at the top. You can also set it to an auto zoom, but again, I don't like letting my camera make artistic decisions, so I never use that one. Or I can rotate it to any of the preset settings, and that changes the zoom on the lens. I like keeping it to manual because that way I can take a look at it, especially if I'm using the modeling light. Go down to our command center. You notice I've got three options here. I've got group, channel, and air. Group and channel are particularly useful if you're using multiple lights. If I'm combining this with a B2, for example, and or a B1, I can define those as different channels and different groups so that my commander can send commands to one but not the others. I can vary each of those lights individually. That's a really useful function. Air, I can set it to on or off. I know, why would I want to turn it off? Because if I'm just using it as a standard speed light, if I'm going to set it in slave mode or something like that, I don't necessarily want this commander to be operating. Now, of course, I'm going to leave it on because right now that's where I use it most often. Head is on. If I'm going to use it as a commander with no strobe, however, I want to turn my head off. That way, it doesn't fire off and inadvertently trigger my lights. Going on to our next menu screen, I've got a backlight, which is set to max. I have a little bit of an eye issue. Out in the sun, you really want that heavy backlight. It uses a little more battery that way. So if you want to, you can set it to medium or minimum, and that'll change it. I like mine at max. I'm willing to trade the battery life for it. Standby, 2 minutes, and it turns itself off. You can also set it to 30 minutes or never. It's a power saving function. Just set it the way you like it. I tend to leave it at 2 minutes because if I'm out in the woods somewhere, I want to preserve this battery as much as possible. Firmware version, right now I'm running A17. That'll tell you which version you need. You always want to have the most current firmware. It's very easy to update. You do it on your computer. The package came with a USB program. Very, very easy to set up firmware. Sync, set for my first curtain sync right now. But yeah, I can do second curtain sync, high speed sync, or I can do X sync. Now X sync is kind of cool because that means I can use this as a basic speed light on any brand of camera. It turns off every sensor, every pin in the hot shoe with the exception of the sync pin. By doing that, I could put this on a Sony, I could put it on an Olympus, I could put it on anything, and it will fire as a regular speed light. I'm going to, of course, set it to first curtain sync, which is where I do almost everything. But again, it's very useful to have this as second and high speed. Continuing on, autofocus assist, I've got it turned to auto right now. We can obviously turn it to off, or we can turn it to on. When we turn it on, there's a little laser that comes out of the front when it does its TTL, or it does its autofocusing, which gives you an assistance to try to find that distance. I keep mine at auto. It's very rare when it doesn't function properly, and that way I don't use the battery power any more than I have to. And that is the menu system for the Profoto A1. Other than that, the system is set and ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this helped to set it up.
All right, y'all, check out our new video here. And if you'd like to look at some of these products, check out our B&H link. We do get a commission, so that helps us make these videos. And also, if you hung around this long, why don't you subscribe to us and look at more of our content? It'd be really cool.
And he's cute. Gives you a good chance to look at it. Look at that face. That face is so cute.